What's up, everybody? Let's Talk Jets Radio. What a disappointing loss. Again, primetime TV. The offense doesn't show up. And, this was one of those games that was a little bit different from some of the previous games where I did feel like the problems pretty much all started and trickled down from the quarterback position. Whereas today or tonight, it didn't feel like the Jets were operating with a quarterback that was really holding them back. Now, did he make some mistakes? Yeah. Did he have the one fumble that, we're lucky that Becton jumped on? Yes. Did he have the interception? Crucial moment, game on the line at the very end? Absolutely. And do I still think a change probably needs to happen because ultimately your offense just isn't scoring points? Yes. But this was one of those games where, at least a little bit more so, it felt like the penalties and even, the drops at times, which weren't as big this week, but mainly the penalties were just absolute drive killers. You can point to Uzama, who killed 2 drives on his own with penalties. You have the Tomlinson holding. But really, it came down, I think, to 2 moments for me where the Jets had an opportunity to really put their foot on the Raiders' throat and kind of get their defense playing with a lead where they could just pin their ears back and really just create some havoc, which was where they had 1st and goal at the 3. And this was right after the Zach Wilson run that was almost a touchdown, inches away from a touchdown, gets called back. Then very first play, handoff, touchdown, called back, Uzama holding. And they settle for a field goal there. They go up 9-3, and they got the ball back, I'd say, midway through the second quarter on their next possession. And first play was like a 10 or 11-yard run to Dalvin Cook. Next play was a 9-yard run to Dalvin Cook. They had 2nd and 1, and they go back-to-back handoffs up the middle. They don't even take a shot downfield, and they didn't get the first down. And at that point, you could sense just the tide just slowly starting to shift. You let a bad team like the Raiders hang around long enough, and they'll scratch and claw and find a way to make some plays and put you down, and that's exactly what they did. The Jets let the Raiders hang around way too long in this game, and if you had gone up 17-3, 20-3 like they should have, I think this is a completely different game the way it plays out in the second half, and the Jets absolutely steamroll them. But instead, you give them multiple opportunities to get a field goal before the half. Ultimately, they cash in. They make it a 9-6 game. They're feeling good. Jets come out of the half. Offense just completely lost. And, the first 3 drives, they started off well. Zach was showing that he could actually make some throws. They took some shots downfield. And then it felt like the rest of the way, the Jets just completely got outcoached. The rest of the way, the Jets completely got outcoached, especially in third and short situations. I know the Jets overall were better on third downs in this game, but especially just third and short, 4th and inches. The Raiders seemed like they had creative play calls ready to go, whereas the Jets just almost feel like it's a struggle every single time that they're in third and short, and they don't really have any answers. And when they don't get in the when they do get in the red zone, also they still don't have any answers. This is an offense that, for whatever reason, cannot find a way to put up touchdowns. And I don't want to sit here, and bash the defense. You had the Bryce Huff penalty, the roughing the passer. That was obviously a big call. But at the end of the day, once again, the defense held a team under 20 points, and they're going to lose. How many times can we sit here and blame the defense or blame special teams, blame penalties, blame all these other things when the defense is doing their job holding teams to a more than reasonable point total, but the offense just can't put up points? And I'm not saying tonight was all Zach. Clearly it wasn't. He had some very good moments, had some more moments where he was running, making plays with his feet, which is obviously what you want to see. Some really nice, tight window throws. He had the one, sidearm, no-look pass. I think that was to Lazard, who almost dropped it anyway. He made some throws tonight, and I'd love to be able to sit here and give him credit for those throws. But until those throws are resulting in points or Jets victories, it's hard to sit here and say, yay, progress, when the Jets are now 4-5. They should have lost to a very bad Giants team that had -9 passing yards, and they followed that up with back-to-back games with 6 points and with 12 points, with no touchdowns. They have 1 touchdown in 3 games. They have 8 offensive touchdowns all year in 9 games. 4 of those touchdowns were on 1 play on offense. In 9 games, they have put together 4 total scoring drives for touchdowns. They're 0 for their last 43 trying to score a touchdown when they start in their own field of possession, on their own side, behind the 50. 0 for their last 43. They are rewriting the book for offensive ineptitude, and it's so difficult to try to find, the small victories and the little progress from Zach and things like that. It's not resulting in anything significant. It's not resulting in points. It's not resulting in victories. Your team's 4-5, now staring at Buffalo and then Miami in back-to-back weeks. Very good chance season could be over after these 2 weeks. And even now, you just lost back-to-back games to the Chargers and the Raiders, two teams that you might see in a tie break for a wild card. It's such a shame with a defense that's playing at a championship caliber level that the Jets just continue to throw these games away. And I'll say it again, third time, this was one of those weeks where I didn't feel like the quarterback was the main issue, but if anything, just to create a spark, to see if other guys respond differently. If maybe there's a little more attention to detail with a proven veteran back there. Even if they can't give you more physically than Zach can. See if just a different voice leading the huddle maybe can lead to some kind of change on offense. Maybe the play calling will be different with somebody else. Maybe the adjustments at the line are different. I don't even know anymore. It felt like Zach was on his game tonight, and yet, even with all that, you scored 12 points. You threw an interception with the game on the line, in the red zone. 1st and 3 at the 3, you can't find a way to score a touchdown. They get put into these 2nd and 3rd and longs, and then they pretty much just quit on the drive after that, and it's dump off, and let's punt or kick a field goal. You can't keep winning like this, and that was my argument a month ago. That these low-scoring, close games where you just let teams hang around and you hope that you can make a play late in the fourth quarter, it's all fun when those plays are on your side and you get the benefit of the doubt and you get to walk off victorious. It's not often that happens. When you play like shit for a majority of the game and you can't punch the ball in the end zone and put a team away when you have an opportunity to do that, this is what happens. Was it 8 penalties for 85 yards today? Not good enough. And even with the 2 takeaways that you got from the defense, you gave one right back in the most critical moment at the very end there. So it never even should have came down to the Hail Mary for me. I know Garrett Wilson maybe had a play on the ball. Conklin knocked it away. Like the same way I didn't want to hear about Randall Cobb. Oh, he could have made a play on the Hail Mary against the Patriots. Who gives a shit? At that point, you put up 10 points for 59 and a half minutes. Who cares if you get a Hail Mary? Same thing this game. You put up 12 points. You had 4 drives that were going pretty well. Can't find a way to score a touchdown on any of them. I'm tired of excusing this. I'm tired of, just seeing individual plays that look good, that we're trying to tout his progress. We're trying to say is not Zach. I thought Zach played overall okay, but again, the end result is 12 points. So what does it mean exactly? I can't sit here and continue to make all these excuses why the offense can't put up points. It's a combination of things, absolutely. Is the play calling innovative? By no means. And especially early on, once you saw that Zach looked like he was kind of in a groove, that he was making some throws early on, that's where you start testing the waters a little bit. Let him keep slinging it a little bit. Test him deep. Send Garrett deep. Where was Gibson after that one catch that he had? Why wasn't he more involved? End arounds, quick screens. The quick screen game was working too when they did it. It's just so hard to figure out. I think this game, again, you could definitely blame, play calling a lot more. The penalties for just killing the drives, absolutely. But I think so much of what's wrong with this offense still just trickles down from the quarterback position and playing scared and trying to adjust the play calling for things that they're worried about with him. It's just added up to a complete mess and a historically bad offense that is once again costing the Jets a shot at potentially making the playoffs. I'm so sick of talking about games like this because it seems like that's all we do. We talk about games where the defense shows up, the special teams either shows up or does enough, but the offense doesn't give you anything. I mean, this was almost exactly like the Eagle game. 12 points going down to the very end, and you needed a miracle to find a way to pull it out. Thankfully, Ashton Davis recovered that fumble. Even still, with that, we gave it right back with the interception. That's why it was exactly like the Eagle game. You had 4 drives, 4 field goals. Couldn't find a way to get into the end zone. Only this time, instead of getting the interception that you returned back to the 8-yard line and the Raiders let you walk in, you actually had to do it on your own. You actually had to find a way to score a touchdown. And once you got into the red zone, the very first play, mind you, when they got in the red zone, interception. Just can't win football games like this. It's a joke. It's embarrassing. I can't listen to Saleh anymore with the self-inflicted wounds and shooting ourselves in the foot. We played a tough team. That was a tough defense. They made some plays. You got to give credit to the opponent. I'm so sick of hearing about this shit. They've been losing the same way for 3 years. This coaching staff is absolutely getting exposed without Aaron Rodgers here to cover them up. We said they were a quarterback away. Well, without that quarterback, you're many pieces away because you might not have the head coach and you might not have the offensive coordinator either. So, talk to you guys later.